On 16 after 8 now. The Media and Communications Minister has laid out his expectations for TVNZ and RNZ. This is all part of an exclusive sit-down interview with the New Zealand Herald's Media Insider Editor-at-Large, Shane Curry. It features in Shane's latest podcast episode, which is out today, and Shane is with us this morning. Good morning.
Morning, Ryan.
Good to have you here. First of all, this is a brand spanking flash new thing you're doing, right?
I've joined you in convergence of the media industry. I thought I'd better burst out of print and text and digital and into video and podcasts. So very exciting for me.
Yeah, how?
Learning on the job.
Very different disciplines, right?
Very different. I mean, I'm still learning in front of the camera and so forth, but really great interview first up with the Minister. I was pleased he came to the party on it because he doesn't actually speak. He's got a lot of portfolios, of course. We very rarely hear him articulating some of his media policies, so it was good to get him on record on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw some cuts for Radio New Zealand in the budget, which, I mean, national governments normally do that in their budgets, don't they? And Labor normally put them up. But is there a strategy going on here behind the scenes?
Yeah, we really did focus in the interview today on TVNZ and RNZ and just where the two state or public broadcasters are leading in terms of their different strategies. Of course, they were looking to merge at one point, but they've gone on their separate paths. I spoke to him at length about the TVNZ dividend. We haven't seen a dividend from TVNZ now for almost 3 or 4 years. They've been through their own sort of hellish 18 months, of course, with a lot of cutbacks. But here's what the Minister actually said about a dividend in the near future. Are you expecting a dividend to start coming back into the coffers?
I wouldn't necessarily be banking on it immediately, but my strong challenge to the board is, we need to see a path to getting back to paying a dividend, and so that's going to be an absolute focus.
Over what though? I think
over the next few years. Yeah.
Well, for years they've got a 5-year digital plus strategy. Would you expect a dividend to be back, within the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, I think they should be hoping for that. Yes.
It's funny because a lot of private businesses say it's not fair that they don't have to, right? That they're not.
That's right. I mean, if you look at a private company like us here at NZME or at Stuff, our shareholders quite rightly are expecting a return each year. And so TVNZ has had some leeway, I guess, in that respect. There's a common misconception that they are funded by the taxpayer, but they are actually funded by advertisers, whereas on the other hand, RNZ, of course, fully funded by the public. And there's a lot of focus at the moment on their radio ratings. They are in a slump and have been now for more than 5 years. They're at their lowest period, and so there was a lot of commentary about that earlier this week. And so I asked the Minister specifically about just RNZ's performance in light of the ratings and, of course, the budget cutbacks.
As a minister, of course, I can never engage in the editorial decisions and interfere with that. But as a shareholding minister, I am interested in the performance of the organisation, and there are a couple of really core measures in terms of simply, are people listening and how are they competing, and then secondly, the broad issue of trust and how are they, how does the general public feel about their trustworthiness as a source. So I think those are two relevant factors.
There's Paul Goldsmith. Do you get the sense that he thinks it's important to us that we still own TVNZ?
I asked him specifically about whether we should still own TVNZ. There's a big case to keep hold of RNZ as a public broadcaster.
Yeah.
But increasingly, and around the coalition cabinet table, there'll be people like David Seymour and the ACT Party who quite clearly don't want to see TVNZ on the books. That is, they've been pretty clear about that in the past. And I think, but given it has got a big commercial imperative, there is an argument to sell it.
Thanks so much for your first little exclusive, Shane. We look forward to many more.
Thanks, Ryan.
That is Shane Curry with us, the New Zealand Herald Editor-at-Large, Shane Curry, and you can catch the Media Insider podcast at nzherald.co.nz on our YouTube channel or on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.